Hi, you're about to start Sign Language 202. If we were together for Sign Language 101, you might have a pretty good understanding of how I grade your assignments. If we weren't, and this is the first time that we're together, I want to go over how I grade so you understand your feedback on your assignments. At this point, you should be pretty fluent. You've had a year and a half or 3 semesters of practice, depending on how fast you've gone through the material. It's important to understand that on an online class, you can go through the material pretty quickly, but you're still supposed to be mastering it, not just getting through it. So in 202, while you're signing and I'm grading, there are a few things I'm looking for, and there's really 4 basic areas that we grade in sign language. The first, obviously, is your hand shapes. Your hand shapes have to be precise. If you have sloppy, weak hand shapes, it's equivalent to a person either mumbling or mispronouncing words. So if your hand shapes are weak, that will negatively affect your grade. In your feedback, I might say something like, hand shapes are clear, easy to read. Or it might say, hand shapes are weak. That would be, as I said, mumbling or mispronunciation. I gotcha, but I had to work at understanding it. If I don't understand the hand shape at all, or if the sign is just completely wrong, I would say, look up the following signs. They're incorrect. And then you need to look those up and master them, memorize them. The second area that we grade on is fluency. I am looking for a very natural pace while you sign. When we speak, we actually have to pause to breathe. And we tend to pause at periods or commas. We pause in places to clarify or emphasize information. Those pauses need to be there in ASL also. And a lot of times, because we don't have to breathe to sign, we don't have to stop and take a breath, we tend to just sign straight through and not hesitate at all. So when we're looking at fluency while you're signing, I'm looking for a natural conversational flow to what you're saying. I'm looking for hesitations at the end of thoughts. I'm looking for hesitations to emphasize information. I'm not looking for you to be choppy and pause in the middle of a sentence because you can't remember what comes next. You need to practice. If you think you can just print out the assignment and sign it, your eye contact might be very poor. It could be choppy. You could hesitate in the wrong places. You need to rehearse. Just like you would rehearse a piece of music or a play before performing it. You need to practice before you actually videotape and record and upload your assignment. So fluency, I'm looking for a very natural flow, the hesitations, the body language that goes with that. The third thing is going to be your face. Facial grammar and facial tone. So the grammar part's kind of the easy one. If I'm asking a yes/no question, I'm looking for those eyebrows to go up and that head to tilt in. If it was a WH question, I'm looking for those eyebrows to go down with the head to tilt in. If it were a rhetorical question, I'm looking for the eyebrows up and no head coming in because you're going to answer your own question. I'm going to the store. Why? I need milk. There's no lean in for that. On negatives, I'm looking for head shakes. On conditional sentences, our eyebrows go up for the condition and then our facial expression matches the outcome. I'm looking for all those grammar markers when you sign. The second part of that is really the most challenging part of ASL altogether. So I'm hoping that you've been working on it during these 3 semesters. And that's your tone of voice. So many students struggle with this. And many times I get an email saying, you know, this is the area that I keep getting marked down in. Can you help me with it? I can't help you with it. You have to use your face. You have to figure out how to use your face to show tone of voice. If you watch this video with the sound off, you're going to see me move. You see me tilt my head, kind of wrinkle my face, raise my eyebrows, shrug a shoulder, purse my lips. You see all of that, even if you couldn't hear my voice. That's the stuff that is tone of voice. If I'm saying, oh my gosh, Bob's wife was killed, and I sign, that tells me watching you that you could care less that woman died. It does not matter to you one bit. Your facial expressions give tone When I speak, my tone varies. It goes up and down, and there's emphasis. We need to see that in your face. And it's very hard to master, especially if you're more of a reserved person. You have to work at it. And if you haven't been working on it up to this point, that's going to be a real struggle. The best way you can work on that is to put your assignment up on a mirror, tape it to a mirror, and practice signing in the mirror so you can see what I'm seeing. And if that face is, and the only thing moving is from here up with eyebrows, you know you're not doing well in tone of voice. You just have to work at it, period. Some of us are more animated than others, and that makes it easy. Some of us are not, and we have to work harder at that section. Okay. The last section is grammar. In Sign 1 with Rio, we started out by doing all the grammar for you. And at the end of the course, we had you take just a few assignments where you took the English and put in the ASL grammar. In SLG 102, we gave you the grammar for your first few assignments, and then most of the assignments you had to take that English and turn it into ASL grammar. In 201, we gave you again some of the grammar, and then you had to create some of it on your own. That's what's going to happen now. There'll be times where you're given the grammar to follow, and you can look and go, oh, the way this is set up, oh, look, that's a rhetorical question. You can take your grammar notes that I give you to study from, and you can make comparisons so you can see, oh, that's what that is. That's an example. That's how you do that. And then there'll be times where you have to gloss yourself and show me that you can take an English sentence, English paragraph, and put it in the right grammar structures. There'll be times that you have to sign a free expression where you come up with your own piece totally. And a lot of times students will do that and they won't use any grammar structures at all. And they certainly won't even use the one that's for that chapter. If we're working on a chapter that's focusing on classifiers and you're asked to create your own monologue using 10 to 12 sentences and 1.5 to 2 minutes at least in length, and to focus using classifiers, and then you don't use any, technically that's an F. You didn't do what you were asked to do. You need to pay attention to those directions, because when you're asked to create something for me, we're going to ask you to use very specific grammar structures and gloss those grammar structures so we can see that you're understanding the language and what's going on. The most common misconception with ASL is that this is not a language. It is just English in a visual form, and that is far, far, far from the truth. ASL is a complete language all by itself, and you're not here to learn signs to stick in an English order. You're here to learn American Sign Language, and that's what we're teaching you and holding you accountable for learning. So when you get your feedback, you're going to see those 4 areas talked about: hand shapes, signs, clear, not clear, weak, don't understand, look these signs up, make sure you understand them, learn them, ask questions. Second, you're going to see fluency. It was smooth, it was conversational, it was natural, oh, it was choppy, there were a lot of hesitations, it was awkward, you were pausing in all the wrong places, it wasn't smooth, you were thinking about the signs instead of what to sign next, it doesn't look well rehearsed, well prepared. Face, you'll see things about grammar markers are there, good on that. Weak tone of voice, no tone of voice, some tone of voice, great tone of voice, great facial expressions. And then lastly, the grammar, when you're required to do something like that. You missed your negative markers, you missed your question markers. That was a rhetorical question, not a WH question. Those would be the kinds of things you'll see in your feedback. When you don't understand your feedback, please copy and paste it into the email when you send me a question, because I won't be able to respond clearly and clarify that feedback unless you copy and paste it into the email and send it to me and ask, I didn't quite understand what you meant about this was a rhetorical question, not a WH question. Can you explain that again? Okay, so I'm looking forward to your videos. If you were with me in 101, I'm really looking forward to seeing how you've developed over the last 2 semesters and where you're at right now with your signing. If this is the first time we're together, I'm looking forward to your videos and seeing how you've been doing with the program here at Rio. Please send emails, questions as you have them. And please, you've got to pay attention to the directions. There are 20-point assignments, which are 1 video assignments, and there are 40-point assignments, which are 2 video assignments, and then there are 20-point glossing assignments. If you're brand new to us, you're going to be unfamiliar with that pattern. If you've been here for 101, 102, and 201, there's a pattern that hopefully you're accustomed to and ready to follow with. If, again, questions, please email me. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to your first assignment.